I'm co-host Chase.
And I'm co-host Gavin.
And this is the Blabbling Bros. Second episode. We got it.
We did it.
We nailed that intro right there.
Oh, yeah.
We got like a hammer. We just smacked that nail right on there. Boom. Critical hit. We rolled like a 20 out of 20 right there on that die. Boom. Boom.
Whoa. Anyways, episode number 2. Don't know why I said it again.
We have a very specific topic that we're going to be talking about. Let me move the mic. We have a specific topic that we're going to be talking about. A topic that I think both of us are pretty passionate about, and it's history. But historical inaccuracies in video games. There was a comb in my hair.
That's strange.
I am so...
Please do not comb your hair while we're doing this podcast.
Alright, we're actually changing this podcast into ASMR. I don't know how that sounds. Anyway.
Okay.
Back to topic. Historical inaccuracies in video games.
They're bad.
We're going to be talking about one game in particular right now. COD World War II. Remember that? Remember when it came out?
Oh, yeah.
I remember lots of people were talking about how saying, you know, the Germans have the M19, their machine gun, you know, not the MG42 or, you know, the MG34, but the MG18, the one used basically in World War One. It's like, why?
Yeah, why?
Maybe because it was rushed, but I have to chalk that one up to either, like, incompetency, or maybe because it just looks cooler. But why not do the MG34? Because that one looks cool, and it's iconic, too. And the MG42. Yeah. Both of them are iconic.
And it's really weird, because there's an MG42 that's a heavy machine gun, and an MG42 light machine gun, and an M34 heavy machine gun, and an M34 light machine gun.
Wait, what?
It's really weird. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
I don't know. I haven't actually played the game. It's way too expensive. I don't do those kind of things. I'm like,
yeah. I
don't have that kind of money laying around, especially, you know, when it's like $60, you know. Yeah. But, I mean, it is a AAA game. I didn't play it, but it's all over the place. The historical inaccuracies, they're all over the place. Seriously, go Google it. It's, you could see them all over the place.
Yeah, a like big one that people are talking about is black female Nazis. They were not allowed in the military, but in this game they are. So to appeal to the liberals or something.
That's a debate for another time. I can't say to appeal to the liberals. Their entire idea was to God. You can have a customizable avatar, right? And they don't. If you're a black girl and you want to play some COD World War II, they don't want you to stop you from being that.
Yeah. Even
though it's, you know, appealing to them libtards out there, you know. But even though those weren't really in the army, you could still, like, you know, be one of them. Because it's like, well, it's character customization, and they want you to be able to express yourself.
Yeah, which I don't see a problem in that, but a bunch of history people are like, oh my god, guys, this isn't accurate. Which, games don't have to be 100% accurate. If games were 100% accurate, that would be not fun. It would just be terrible. Like, the closest thing to accuracy in a war is, I would say, Verdun. That is a very accurate game. I really like the game and its accuracy. Too bad, like, there's only one server running with players, so it's a lesser known game, I guess. Well, but I like it a lot.
It's kind of an indie game. It's not made by, like, big developers. Yeah. I also wouldn't use the term history people, because you're one of them. You could just say other people, you know? It's not like... Why is this separation between you and them? It's like, them history people.
Ugh.
Those darn history
people. Oh, there's one over there. Oh, history people.
Do we need, like, a slur for history people? Let's have a history people slur. How about his people? His peeps.
His peeps.
That's a slur. I probably shouldn't say that.
You're such a his peep.
Bro, dude, I thought this was PG-13. Bro, you're shaking my boots.
But you're totally salting my apples.
Dude, I'm salting your apples all day, bro. Hiss peeps.
I am very offended.
Anyway, back on topic. There's tons of other games that do this. Adding on to what you said, if games were if games were always 100% accurate, then they won't be fun, which is true. Tanks break down a lot. In World of Tanks, you don't just magically break down out of nowhere. That would be stupid.
Yeah, and your gun doesn't just jam, and then you have to hit it on a tree a few times.
I mean, it's only added when it makes sense. Hoi 4, there's your reliability of your tanks, which, I mean, of course, it makes sense to have it, because, you know, you're not playing as one of those tanks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a huge scale thing, and it's not like you can, like, see the battle going on anyways. So, like, come on, why did my tank fail? So, it doesn't really matter.
You just know that it happens.
Yeah.
But, back to World of Tanks, there's a lot of historical inaccuracies. I'm not going to mention any names or any specific people that may resemble talk about the Panzer II Jag, but maybe some people who play this game may not realize that it's not 100% accurate. For example, the Panzer II Jag, is not the greatest light tank in the world. Believe me.
Yeah, and I have one friend in school. He says that the M4 Sherman is terrible, and he hates it. It just does no damage, and this is like okay, because the M4 Sherman was bad, but for a different reason. It was very easily bogged down. The engine would fail constantly, and it didn't have like the biggest turret, right? The biggest barrel, but that was okay if they mass produced it.
Yeah, that was his strong point.
That was its strong point. That's not English.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, and if you don't have a mass swarm of Shermans, it doesn't really help, because I don't really know where I was going with that.
Okay, well, a friend told me about this story where, I'm not gonna really explain it, but it's like people take the game and they assume that it is immediately what happened in real life. Like, if the T-34 sucks in World of Tanks, T-34 must sucked in real life. Clearly, there's no way that the Russians could have beat the Germans. It was improbable. There's no way that the German tanks were, not as good as the Russians. Like,
yeah,
the Germans are so much better tanks. Of course, they didn't lose that war.
Of course, and plus, none of you have been to Europe. What if it's Nazi controlled this whole time?
Yeah, it's just a gay frog government conspiracy.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, there's another story, like, I heard, that, like, there was, like, the IS-9 in the game, right? And it's like a tier 10 tank, right? This is the best tank you can get, right? It's premium, costs gold, you need to insert your mom's credit card, and basically, it's really funny, because those were, I don't even know if they were made, period. They were definitely not made in World War II, though, but they were definitely, like, they were not made in World War II, and they shouldn't really be in the game.
I'm Googling it right now, hang on.
Alright, we're Googling it.
Sorry, this keyboard, it don't exist. Oh, but it does in World of Tanks. That looks just like the IS-2. That's the IS-2.
But, like,
what the crap is this?
Oh, yeah,
yeah, that's the object. Whoa.
The object.
Why the crap does the object look like a flying saucer with, like, legs?
You guys can look it up. The IS-8.
Object 279?
Yes, there's also the IS-8. That I don't even know if that's a thing either.
Okay.
Look it up, dude. Look up IS-8.
I know that there was an IS-3. Oh no, that's the little World of Tanks Moon Mayhem minigame. It was the April Fool's joke or something.
Look up there. That's apparently an IS.
Oh, that's the HD yeah, it's all in World of Tanks.
But there's a bunch of like objects in World of Tanks. There's like object 274.
Those were
objects 312. And, like, a lot of them are tank destroyers, but I don't even know if that matters. But there's just tons of objects. Is that, like, a thing, or is that just like a code name?
Objects. All the Soviet objects were experimental ideas that were proposed to the Soviet Union. It's like mostly super heavy tanks, like outgoing kind of things.
Oh yeah.
Those were never produced at all. It's basically like, of course we already have the mouse in the game, but it was like it would be like if World of Tanks added the Rate or something. It was proposed. Okay. It was never built, and it wouldn't ever be built. It was like, completely historically it's never going to happen. But they add it into the game because they need more tanks. World of Tanks needs to have better and better tanks. Object 279 or all those other objects were completely out of whack because Soviet Union was like, you know what, I think if we just throw in a T-34s at the enemy, it's going to be just as fine as instead of getting tons of these objects that the Soviet Union can't even,
afford or, build.
Afford at all.
It doesn't have, enough manpower. And plus, if the British proposed an ice carrier in World War II. And it's like if World of Warships said, alright, it was proposed, so yeah, let's just put it in our World of Warships game. Boom.
Wait, what is
ice
an
carrier.
Ice carrier?
Oh, they said to go up to the North Pole, get some ice, make it into a carrier. And because people did some tests on it, and bullets and shells didn't affect it that much. Seriously.
Ice carrier. What if it went down to the Tropic of Cancer? Would it melt?
Probably.
So it's just supposed to be an Arctic ship.
It's supposed to be fighting in the English Channel. I mean, it's not like they're going to the equator anytime soon.
The Gulf Stream is really warm, is it? Wait,
I'm pretty sure they would put some kind of protective gel on it beforehand or something.
That sounds really unlikely.
There are a few videos on it, but it was never even made. It was just a conceived idea.
Exactly, tons of other things that World of Tanks adds to their game.
This is
Warships in this
case.
This
was an example, a metaphor, because the World of Warships did not add this to the game, and if they do, I'm going to flip the frick out, because that is just crazy. It's bonkers. Shouldn't be in the game, and I don't think it ever should be anywhere in any games unless it's the game of
retardation.
The game of historical inaccuracies and hypothesized vehicles, or something like that.
What I was gonna say is that, these ideas really, are stretched because World of Tanks needs new tanks and whatnot. World of Tanks, I'm not sure if you heard about their scummy business model where, premium ammunition?
Yeah.
You needed to shoot one. There's this one tank they added. Don't know what it was called. I forget. But point is that it's super strong. Its armor is insane. So it's pushing you to buy that premium ammo. But the gun on that tank sucks. It's terrible. So it's forcing you to buy that premium GG ammo.
But hey, at least you can buy the heavy high explosive anti-tank shells, which are premium. You can give them 7 gold or 2,000 silver. That's if you've ever played World of Tanks, you would know that's a lot when you're talking about shells, because you use a lot of shells in one game. So it's pretty pricey if you actually want to use heat shells as a free to play. So it's really stupid, because a Hetzer, which is an anti-tank vehicle, just walked up to me and said, hey, and I'm a medium tank, and he just shoots me and one-shots me. It did not, there wouldn't be, one Hetzer, anti-tank vehicle in real life that would just walk towards an ambush from a medium tank and just totally just wreck it in one shot. That did not happen in real life.
Well, to be honest, World of Tanks, the way that it fights, where you have to hide behind cover.
Tons of RNG.
That kind of fighting doesn't really happen in real life, and I mean that's the way that World of Tanks wants you to play. But from what I've seen, the way that you fight in World of Tanks isn't necessarily how fighting goes on in real life. back to topic. So, you don't just hide behind a wall like a coward. You don't do that. Tanks are normally out there. They push out, protected by our wave of infantry, you know?
Also, bushes in the game, they, like, just completely make you disappear from radar.
What?
Yeah.
So, like, a bush is like aluminum, like a tinfoil hat for tanks?
Oh, yeah, bro.
Deflects all those government conspiracies and
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and except when you fire or somebody gets close enough, then you'll be seen. It's kind of stupid because, you know, you would think you would hear, like, oh, does somebody hear, like, some engine rumbling coming out of that bush? Or wouldn't you see their, like, at least their heat signals or something? You would definitely notice that there's a tank in that bush.
Nope, I'm just bush.
Russell.
Nothing's in the bush.
There's
Nothing.
a tank in my boot.
In my bush.
There's a tank in my bush.
There's no tank there. Clearly, the radar doesn't see it.
Clearly. Radar didn't see it. It's not there. It's fake. Government conspiracy.
His pleb.
I'm insulted.
Anyway. How is World of Tanks? A little bit of a tangent right here. I've never played it. Probably shouldn't be talking smack about a game I haven't played.
But I have. And I remember I played War Thunder. Got to like the KV-1 heavy tank. I was real happy. Then I lost my account, right? I go to play World of Tanks. I stop at like a tier 2 tank. And then I came back. And now I'm at a tier 4.
I'm confused. How is the gameplay in that game? Like,
Gameplay?
I'm concerned that everybody's the same.
Okay. There are heavy tanks. There are medium tanks. There's light tanks. There's tank destroyers.
But they're all as good as each other.
And there's artillery. No, I would say the anti-tank vehicles are really overpowered because every single map
that makes sense.
is a huge open map, and tank destroyers are very long range, fast bullets, and they could do tons of damage to you, right? Light tanks. Here's every light tank player, right? They just like to say, "Hey, I'm too fast for their turret to spin and hit me."
Oh, right.
And that actually works, and I hate it when like a premium tank, which they go faster than regular tanks, they just run around in circles around me. I'm like, I can't do anything.
Premium
I try to trick
tanks.
them out. And
A premium tank that doesn't exist in real life?
Probably. It's like American, like, T-127 or whatever.
T-16,842.
T-127 to the square root of pi times the Pythagorean theorem or something.
Divided by the mass of the sun.
Times the square of the hypotenuse.
Solve for X.
Solve for X. Yeah, but...
That sounds like a great tank. It's gonna cost you $10 per minute.
But the...
You need your premium ammo. The gun is like worthless. It's literally just a rubber band with a little paper wasp attached to it. But its armor is literally just the Great Wall of China. It's just the entire Great Wall of China.
The artillery vehicles work strange, right? You go into artillery mode, right? From what I've seen, I haven't actually played as an artillery vehicle yet. I think I've seen this from footage. You go into artillery mode. It's like an overhead view of the map, right? You zoom into players, and you can't see in this mode, right? You have to go off of other players' informations and last known locations, right? And I don't know what's up with these guys, because they can, like, say a regular tank shoots from point A to point B, right? When an artillery tank shoots from point A to point B, the bullet drop is much, much faster. Like, for some reason, all artillery vehicles, all their bullets, they weigh like a ton. They fall like a rock coming from a pigeon's claws. I don't know what I was doing with that. But seriously,
it's a rock falling from the ceiling.
So fast. They fall much faster than all bullets. Even if you're like pointing straight forward, it'll like go 2 feet in front of you. Seriously. And the tank destroyers, they really like to just sit in bushes, wait till people try to cap their point, get like 7 kills, and then die. That's a life of a tank destroyer. Heavy tanks think they're invincible, so they kind of just peek at you, always. My favorite thing, since I'm a medium tank, I don't know much stereotypes about them, because not many players
They're the most
play that.
diverse.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wait, not many players play medium tanks?
No, not really.
Despite them being the most common, widely used tank in World War II?
Yes. Unless you're counting the T-29, which is a free elite tank, premium tank. I don't know why it's called a medium tank, but apparently it is.
But it acts like a heavy tank?
Yeah, going back to historical inaccuracy, the T-29 was made to just drive around Moscow. Seriously, it had paper thin armor.
Wait, the T-30, like the
T-29, the one with like 6 turrets.
Oh, yes, that thing had it was the Colossus with clay feet. It couldn't move that much. It was famous for parading around Moscow, and then when the Germans came,
they didn't use it at all.
No, they barely used it, and it was so combat ineffective. It would break down all the time.
And the best thing to do against heavy tank players is you peek them and then go back, and then when they shoot, they realize, oh dang, I have like a 5-second reload time, so you just go in and just shoot them and just leave.
That doesn't sound like a very fun game.
Yeah, it's full of trickery, tons of RNG. I hate when, like, our bullet didn't scratch them. Deflection. That one didn't go through. And then, like, when people shoot at me, it just, like,
critical hit kills you.
Critical hit. The gunner's down. It'll take 16 seconds to reload. Not kidding. I hate it. It's so much RNG, and it's just...
You hate the game?
I don't hate the game. It's just the RNG factor shouldn't be as much as it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that many. Like, believe me, I hate RNG in games, except when the RNG makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, in Team Fortress, there's this thing called critical hits or random crits, which are fair and balanced. But certain weapons can crit more than others.
Yeah.
Not only depending on damage, but also health. This is why you can just get random crits that apparently seem more random than others.
Yeah, like the Jag, the Jag for the engineer is known to get random crits. And if any of y'all has watched Uncle Dane, he explained why it gets more random crits than others. So.
Yes, God save Fuller.
It's not just you. The Jag actually does get more random crits than the other ones. If any of you guys that are watching play TF2, so yeah, talking about TF2, it's probably I know this is like 2 years late, but I think TF2 is dead.
I have to disagree with you, politely.
Okay.
I mean, I don't play TF2 anymore, but I still got to back my community. I don't think it's dead at all. I mean, there's still tons of TF2 YouTubers, still tons of TF2 memes running around. There's subreddits still holding strong. I would not say ever that TF2's dead. I still have TF2, and it's forever stayed in my heart. I don't play it anymore. I still
I got
tons
1,000 hours.
Stupid
1,000 hours, everybody.
Skins and stuff in it, but
1,000 hours.
And you're calling it dead, you traitor.
What?
But seriously though, it makes sense. I guess you could call it that instead. But I would never do that. Calling it dead would be like, it's gonna make some analogy about sushi, but thinking back at it, doesn't really make any sense.
Okay. Now that you said that,
you pull this rotten piece of sushi out of the fridge, it's all moldy and crap because it's been in there for 10 weeks, and you're like, that's dead, and you're like, well, it is. You can still eat it, but. And then there's a new piece of sushi in there. It's Overwatch. But it also has too much salt in there, not from cringy players, but also, like, just poison on it, because that's also, that was the analogy.
Oh, that was it. Well, I mean, you did say it was terrible, so we gotta cut you some slack.
Well, seriously though, but TF2, although it's really old, it's like its core player base is still there. No, its core players' base is still there.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree. You swayed my opinion well. All right, I now think that TF2 is still alive.
Did you know that TF2 is going to be a military shooter?
Oh.
Kind of like Counter-Strike, it was going to be like a super team-based military shooter. And it was basically.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was like Team A, Team B. Go kill each other.
Yeah,
Simulated Team Fortress Classic, but has cloaking
There was,
and stuff.
commanders and stuff.
And then, well, there was still cloaking. But it was going to have tons of things that were ahead of its time. A little too ahead of its time.
Yeah.
It's really hard to think of things that are ahead of my time. Because, like, you think about it and you're like, well, we got everything. I wonder how it would be to, like, think of things that were ahead of time back then. Like, you got, oh, who is it? Oh, crap. Da Vinci or something? It's probably not Da Vinci. Oh, DiCaprio. That's the one.
DiCaprio.
I'm kidding, of course. But, people would always... very few people, but people. There would always be somebody who was thinking ahead of their time. One step forward. You could find, documents of plumbing in ancient cities. And although some cities did actually have plumbing.
Like in the ancient Roman times. Better than African plumbing, am I right?
Mm-hmm. Modern African plumbing versus ancient Roman plumbing. Who would win?
I don't know. It's a tough battle. I'm gonna vote ancient Roman plumbing.
Anyway. But... and then you have, like, ideas for helicopters way before their time in, like, the Renaissance era.
Yeah, like I think that was Da Vinci.
It's hard for me. It's easier for me to say, yeah, I mean, the teleporter's, ahead of my time. But, like, then you think about it and say, not really. Because I could think about the teleporter, but, like, how would it work? Da Vinci had, like, a perfect idea for the helicopter where it would spin its little fan above it and be able to do it. He just didn't invent the combustion motor yet.
Yeah. He's like,
so,
now, how do we get the fan to spin?
Now, as for me, I could say, yeah, I teleport by cloning myself and then killing the other clone, but then it's like, oh, you don't know about portable lightweight nuclear fission yet, or something. I just made that up.
Like, I remember, the dude that created... I don't know his name, I forget, but the guy that created...
Man, we're forgetting names all today. We got Leonardo DiCaprio, we forgot his name, Leonardo da Vinci, well, same thing. Now we got this dude.
Yeah, he's a scientist, probably from Germany or Austria or something. Has kind of a... the last name is giving off a vibe.
What did he do?
He made the theory of continental drift. And,
oh, wait, no, I know that dude. That's Alfred Wegener.
Alfred Wegener. Gotcha.
No, it's not Wegener. It's Wegener.
It's Wegener.
There's a W. That's Wegener.
It's Wegener.
I
learned in 7th grade science class that it is Wegener. All right.
It's Alfred Wegener.
It's Wegener. All right. He's German, and
I'm gonna use the inspect tool to change this W to a V so that you can be right.
There we go.
Now you're right.
Alfred Wegener. Now
actually, that sounds like Vegener.
Vegener.
So, it doesn't look right.
I'm a veganer.
Yeah, he's a veganer.
Anyways.
He's vegan.
He thought of a theory that's way ahead of his time, right? And he didn't have the way to say
prove it.
How. No, he had tons of evidence of that it happened, right? He didn't know. His main breaking point was, how did the plates actually move?
Yeah.
Right? He did not know that how the plates moved, right? But now we know it's because they do something. I don't actually know. But now scientists know how it moves, right?
They don't just do something. I don't know exactly how, but like they drift. They drift across the oceanic bed.
Drift, yeah.
Right? They separate. They drift across the oceanic bed. Okay. And what that means is that like they move, like the lava under it. I guess like, lava. Like, whatever's under it.
Oh yeah,
slides.
the lava does. I think it's like, I know it's when heat rises, the hot lava rises, but then it gets in the surface, it slowly cools, and then sinks, right? And that's called convection. That's what it's called. And then convection currents in the magma cause the plates to shift around.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's way ahead of his time, but he didn't know that yet.
He didn't know that after he died, he was a hero.
Yeah.
We only got about 20 seconds left, but here's a question. last question of the day. Would you rather be super popular while you live, but when you die, completely forgotten, or vice versa? You have
Vice versa.
So,
Vice versa.
so